everybody. This is the Formless Podcast, episode number 36.
Yeah.
I'm Dustin. This is Tyler, the superhuman. And today on Skype, we got Tim, the sack man, joining us. Tim is super awesome guy. We just kind of met through Instagram. And, well, enough of me. Tim, why don't you just say hi to the people listening?
Hey there. Thank you guys so much for having me. Appreciate you. Appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Tim, you practice or train Muay Thai. I'm going to just let you give us a quick intro about you and what you do, and then we'll go from there. How about that?
Sure. Yeah. I'll try and make it quick. I've been practicing Muay Thai as my base martial art for the last 1,254 days. Today we'll make 1,255. And when I started, I didn't start in Muay Thai. I just bought a punching bag because I was dealing with clinical depression and suicidal ideation. And I was extremely angry in that time, and I needed an outlet for anger. So I bought a punching bag, and then when I started training on it, I felt a release that I couldn't get through therapy. I couldn't get through medication, and it literally saved my life. So since that point, I started training every day, keeping track of it, sharing it. And like I said, I didn't have any training in the beginning. I was basically just hurting myself. But even though I didn't have the training, I was still feeling that physical release. It's called a somatic release of things that I was going through. And 20 days in, stopped my suicidal ideation completely. And then it's just been growing since then. So I've been training. I got local training from a local martial artist, came in, gave me a little background in kickboxing, Muay Thai, a little bit of grappling, a little bit of karate, taekwondo, and a few other things, just from local practitioners. And then about a year in, less than a year in, I got formal training from a two-time world champion in Muay Thai named Greg Wooten out in Los Angeles. So he was my base for just a real system and a structured training. And from there on, it's just been an amazing journey.
It sounds like an amazing journey. You know, the algorithm for Instagram works pretty wild. I started doing, Jocko Willnick has a contest he did with Echelon Front. He did it last year and I met a whole bunch of people. It was just awesome. And then this year it rolled around January 1st. I did it again. And just ran into all sorts of people through the platform that were doing the contest as well. And somehow or another, the algorithm showed your logo. And so just on a whim, while I was posting stuff, posting my progress, I clicked on it. I was like, oh, what's this, you know? And I just fell in love with everything you were doing. And I went through all your live videos, or not all of them, but went through a handful of them, and I was just like, I gotta talk to this guy. And so out of the blue, I started following you and sent you a message, and you responded, and I was just stoked. You got a lot to say, and you got a good message, and it resonated with me. And I hit up Tyler and was like, you gotta check this guy out, see what he's doing. I did have a question though, because I had, as a kid, a lot of depression issues and some anxiety issues that I realized what it was as an adult. Did you have any kind of clinical training, or was that just your own experiences of going through the whole rigmarole?
So I didn't grow up with depression or anxiety. I went through a tremendous amount of losses all about the same time in my life. In 2019, I left an extreme religion, which caused me to lose contact with my immediate family, and also everyone who raised me from 0 to 30. So these are people who I considered aunts and uncles. They felt like brothers. My extended family wasn't in the religion, but being in the religion separated me from my extended family and made me feel sort of isolated from them. And then on leaving, I also lost a 9-year marriage, which was a 14-year relationship. And at the same time in 2019, just about the same time, I was defrauded by my business partner. and had to go through bankruptcy, lost 2 businesses. So it was just a tremendous amount of loss. All these events happened at the same time that literally kind of shattered my reality and sent me into a clinical depression. And I started in talk therapy. I was on medication and went through several different prescriptions. They were trying to find a good med to work for me as an individual. But even though I was in therapy and on meds, I was continuing to decline mentally and dealing with more and more suicidal ideation. And it led up to a point eventually where I woke up one morning, it was the only thing on my mind. And I thought, like, if I do one thing today, it's going to be end my life. So that's the point where I wound up in the emergency room. And that day when I got out, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. I bought an Everlast heavy bag with a heavy bag stand and everything. Bought a pair of gloves. I came home, I had 2 roommates, and I was like, hey guys, I'm putting this punching bag in our living room now, and this is happening.
Deal with it.
And they're like, what's going on? It's like, it's happening, let's go. And awesome. I started training. Like I said, that first hit, the first punch, it was a weight off my shoulders. And 20 days in for my suicidal ideation to stop, it may have stopped sooner than that. It's just that 20 days I recognized, hey, I have not had a single thought. I have not had a single flash or image or anything since I started training. So I need to share this. I'm going to keep going with this.
Wow. So. That's amazing. So, and then you got the punching bag. You've got no training whatsoever. You just started hitting this bag just like a wild man.
Yeah, I knew that progress is contagious.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So
right.
If I broadcast my progress with this thing, then my hope was that it will positively impact others who are watching and inspire them maybe to make progress in their lives. That was like the baseline for me sharing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had 0 training, so when I was first hitting that bag, I was injuring myself. I had like bloody knuckles and my wrist was all messed up and like I was doing damage. But even while I was doing that, I was still getting this physical release. I didn't know it at the time, but it's called somatic healing or somatic processing. That's what happens when you use a physical tool to relieve your nervous system of stress and past trauma that's trapped in that nervous system. So I was stumbling upon that. I was feeling this progress. I was seeing this growth happen, and I knew I needed to share it. So that's why we went with that was the beginning, like the very beginning. But it's grown into so much more than just me sharing. It's been an amazing journey that's impacted hundreds of people, and I've heard from over 100 people that it's helped them save their lives. It's empowered them to save their lives with the tools that they were missing from their mental health toolkit. So yeah, every day, man.
That's wild. That is so cool.
So that's been like, so you're at, would you say 1,200 and some days? I mean, for
54.
54, yeah.
Yes, I'm at 1,254 days of continuous consecutive training. Today will be 1,255, and it's not all high intensity training. It's because I've found the balanced routine that works for me. I give myself 2 active recovery days. So even though I'm taking the day off from high intensity, I'm not taking the day off from training. I'm still practicing my shadow boxing. I'm doing low intensity work. Maybe I'm working with not the heavy bag, the speed bag, or something light that doesn't put that toll on my body. And that way I can make it a sustainable goal, right? Because if I was just high intensity every day, it breaks you down.
You'd burn out. Right? Yeah. Did you think, like, I just need to hit something, and so I'm buying a punching bag? Or, like, did you go through some there other things that you were thinking of?
So I needed to do something with my anger. I was really angry.
Yeah.
I just lost my family and my religion and my wife and my business and got defrauded by this business partner. And I was pissed, you know?
Yeah, understandably.
I knew that this anger was going to come out one way or another, and the other options are put a hole in my wall and hurt myself, or attack some random person who says that one thing that puts me over the edge, you know? So I didn't want any of that to happen. I don't want to go to jail or have restraining orders. So I figured punching bag. The only one I'm going to hurt is me if I don't do it right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and then once that's the second part of like the whole training aspect allowed me to take this so much further than me just hitting a bag. Because when I started training and sharing it with my community, local martial artists came into my home and gave me a foundation in martial arts, in kickboxing, in Western boxing, in Muay Thai, karate, taekwondo, a little bit of jiu-jitsu. And that allowed me to make progress with the bag and get an even better physical release, because now I'm not injuring myself. Now I'm just building myself up. I'm developing a skill set that's useful in life. I'm improving my physical, my heart, my body, my mind. My resiliency is going up. And I'm learning by doing that challenges in our lives can make us stronger. Because I'm presenting myself with a challenge every day. I'm going to do this thing. It's difficult, right? It's going to take work. It's going to take energy. I might not be in the mood to do it, but I'm going to do it. And it's going to challenge me. And by the time I'm done with that training, I'm going to check in. And when I check in on myself, I realize I feel great. I feel amazing. And whatever it was that I was dwelling on and was ruminating in my mind, it's not gone. The issues aren't gone, but the effect that it's had on me is now a positive one. So essentially I am taking my demons and I am putting them to work for me instead of allowing them to work against me. And I do it every day. I've been doing it every day. And it's been also 1,255 days without suicidal ideation, without debilitation, without meds, without talk therapy. And that's with approval from my doctors to stop this stuff. So, yeah. That's happening.
That was the next question I was going to ask you. Like, your doctors were, I mean, they must have been supportive.
They were very supportive. My therapist at the time, we had been making some progress. So I'm not demonizing meds or talk therapy. I think that it's important for you to explore all of your options and empower yourself with as many different tools that you can use to help yourself move forward on your mental health journey. But my therapist was, when I first was going, I would feel relief after our sessions. After having a 1 hour session with the therapist, I'd walk out and I would feel like almost a weight off my shoulders. But over time, that it wasn't solving the main issues that I was dealing with, that stuff that was trapped in my nervous system that I didn't have words for. There's some things we experience we don't have words for. We need the physical tools as well. So that stuff was still getting worse and causing the suicidal ideation. After I came out of the emergency room, I called my therapist before I went in. And I said, hey, this is what I'm doing today. And the therapist is the one who called the suicide hotline and got me to my local emergency room. After I came out and I bought the bag, in 20 days, she cleared me to stop. Like, she recognized that you're not dealing with this stuff anymore. And when I would go to talk therapy, it was just like I was talking to anyone else and just relating what happened in my day. I wasn't feeling any benefit anymore from being there.
Yeah.
So she recognized that as well. And she was like, yeah, you're all right. You can stop. And if you ever feel like any of this stuff comes back or you start to backslide, then you have my information. You can always contact me and we can start up again. But as far as she could tell, I was no longer dealing with the things that she was helping me process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So like, you were going live, punching the bag, talking about how this is helping you, and then other martial artists in your community were like, hey kid, you're not hitting that bag like you should, or what? Was that kind of the
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. My very close friends, they're all family to me now. This has grown such a beautiful, supportive, upbuilding, growth mindset and family in the martial arts community. So I consider them like brothers to me now. So one of my bros back in New Jersey, his name is Checo. He came in and he was like, look, I respect what you're doing. I like what you're doing, but you look terrible. And he's like, if you're going to do this and you're going to show it to the community, like at least do it in a way that doesn't, look like so bad. So it was like, I'll teach you this stuff, And the cool thing is, like, he was a trainer. He was charging people to train in his house, like he has a setup and everything. But he came in and he was like, you don't have to pay me. Just, I want to give you something so you're productive,
That's a good
And then that became a theme amongst other martial artists. They were like, hey, we just want to support you and help you add more value to what you're doing. Like, you don't have to pay us, just train with us here. And it started with my local community, and then it turned into world champions and freaking top class facilities. It's mind blowing, man, mind blowing. I trained in Colorado at 6,000 feet elevation with Sensei Bang of Bang Muay Thai. I don't know if you know Bang Muay Thai.
Yeah, I've heard of
This
it.
dude he's got the fastest knockout in the UFC at 6 seconds with hands. So he currently holds the record in the UFC, fastest knockout by hands, 6 seconds.
That's insane.
And I walked into his dojo and I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Would you like to share any of your experience? And he was like, I love your cause. Hang out, get some training in. And he's been supportive since day one. And that stuff has happened just over and over again. It's like, as long as I'm showing up for the community, then the community shows up for me. That's like the number one lesson. It keeps me going out here when things are difficult, when I'm almost out of money and I don't know what I'm going to be able to eat, or, I don't know how I'm going to get out of the situation. I just set up my bag. I start training the community from where I'm at. And sure enough, eventually someone pays it forward and I'm able to keep going on the journey.
Wow. So that was my other question. Like, you're not independently wealthy, I don't believe. So how are you surviving? Like, gas is, especially in California, gas is like hovering around $5 a gallon again. How are you making ends meet?
It's crazy, man. So I think we've got to talk about what has happened.
Okay.
To get to that question.
No problem.
Because I don't think we covered it. After I trained with local martial artists, I was able to link up virtually with Nina Karita. I don't know if you know who she is. She's very big on social media. She's a Muay Thai girl. She's had amateur fights. She's also doing stunts and stuff like that. And she's got this huge following she's been blown up with. So when I was first sharing this with my community, I started reaching out to martial artists who were big on social media. And I just sent them letters letting them know, hey, this is what I want to do. I've been doing this training for myself. It's been helping me. I have now started helping my local community. I turned my home into a dojo, and I was bringing people off the street and just allowing them to train for free to see if the heavy bag is an outlet that works for them.
Yeah.
COVID hit, had to go all virtual because I had roommates and I couldn't just keep bringing people into the house. So turned it into a virtual training class where I shared shadow boxing techniques that people could apply to the bag. And you still get up, we work out together, and that virtual show runs every day. It's been running every day for the last 1,255 days. Everyone is welcome to join me there for free. So after I leave, we will still have social support and we still have something that you can stick to and something that's beneficial to you. And through that virtual program, I started interviewing martial artists and asking them about their martial arts and mental health experience. Has this impacted you as a martial artist and your mental health? And I linked up with Nina Karita, and she recommended that I reach out to this dude named Greg Wooten. And she just said, hey, here's a guy who does martial arts who would probably want to talk to you about mental health. She didn't tell me he was a 2-time world champion of Muay Thai. And, she just said, here's a guy who does martial arts. So I had no idea, and then I reach out to him, like, whoa, why would you tell me that this,
that he's
this
awesome.
dude's a legend. Yeah. And so we did a virtual interview together. And at the end of the interview, I said, hey, if I ever make it out to LA, because he was in LA at the time, I said, hey, if I ever make it to LA, would you train me? Would you train with me? And he was like, of course. And when he said, of course, I literally terminated my lease. I moved out of my apartment into a Kia Soul. I donated all of my clothes. I built this brand to raise awareness, Sack Life Official. And I drove across the country for 91 days, linking up with martial arts dojos across the way from New Jersey to California and building a network of support. When I got to California, I trained with the world champ for 2 months. and sold him my car, my Kia Soul. He's currently driving it today. And he drove me to Northern California to build this next step in the process, which is the Beat Depression bus. It's a 77 Volkswagen bus with a custom heavy bag attached to it that hangs off the side. So I'm able to now bring the tool that saved my life to people in need and give them the physical experience at their door or at their local park or on the beach or in the mountains or in the woods or anywhere. Literally, like, the whole world is now our training ground. And that's, I don't think I slipped too far off topic.
No, dude.
We could go back to your original question. Remind me of what it was one more time.
What?
It was sustainability.
Yeah. What is sustaining?
Sustainability. Yeah. Yes. So I've had support from people through the virtual class because the virtual class has been impacting lives. So people have sent some from time to time. They send donations. My goal was always to create free mental health care through martial arts for everyone. And the plan is to eventually have enough social media numbers that we can leverage them to advertising companies, and that will generate the revenue we need to continue to provide free care and to actually grow and build programs and build facilities where people can walk in and get the physical tools and the mental health tools from professionals for free. That's the plan. But in the meantime, it's been crowdfunded, man. I saved up for a whole year so that I could go to California, build the bus, and train the people for a year for free. Like, I put that cushion away in the bank. Then after buying the bus, it started breaking down all the time because it's a 70-cent bus.
Yeah. With like 1 million miles on it, probably.
It's just breaking down. It's stranding me all over the West Coast. I got stranded in Death Valley for a full week. And it was like, it's been brutal. We can talk for the rest of my life. I'm intending to talk for the rest of my life about this. So don't worry, there's no shortage of content here. But when it comes to sustainability, what I've realized and come to accept is that it's what I need. It's not going to be there when I want it. It's not going to be there when I expect it. But when I really need something, it's always there. So the people who have been benefiting from this program and watching me go live every day and share my self-care, when they see me in a tough spot, then they're like, hey, survive a little longer. And they send me some fundage. And when I was in Death Valley, people passing by, I'm still training every day. I'm stranded, the bus is broken down, but I've got my heavy bag set up and I'm hitting the bag on the side of the road, and people are passing by and stopping and it's raising awareness. And I met some really cool people out there in Death Valley that brought me food, blankets, funds, water, and it was a blessing in disguise to be broken down in Death Valley because the connections I made there are still with me today. And through those connections, I've seen people literally overcome PTSD, suicidal ideation, clinical depression, and those people wouldn't have had access if I wasn't stranded in Death Valley. So it's like, I can't even be mad, like the whole thing, I can't even be mad about it. But I had saved for a year to do it, and after the last breakdown was in Las Vegas, after that one, I shipped the bus out to Colorado to have a Subaru engine swap done so it would be a reliable daily driver. And that was done by John at Eurobus. Shout out to John at Eurobus. You're amazing, John. Love you, man. Because he turned my dream into a reality. I can now focus on the mission and not focus on repairs all the time. And
that's helpful. That's helpful.
And the sustainability thing comes into play because when I originally booked the job, it was $5,000 in California from some guy in his garage. That guy disappeared, and which left me with a bus that had no engine. I pulled the engine out on his orders. Like he said, pull the engine out, label the harness, send me the bus. So I pulled the engine out, labeled the harness, called him back. Guy was gone. He's a ghost. I don't know what happened to him. So then I had to find the next lowest bidder. There's only about 10 companies that do this across the U.S. with good reputations. And John was the next lowest bidder at $15,000. So it went from $5,000 to $15,000. And then he started working on it, and COVID complications set in, and he lost workers, parts became unavailable, inflation was driving costs up. So by the time everything was done, it was $25,000.
Oh my Lord.
That I spent
Wow.
on replacing the motor. So we went from 5 to 25. And I had budgeted myself so I could provide free care for a year. That's gone. I'm 4 times past my budget now, and I'm a year behind schedule. But I can't regret a single second of it, because if the bus wasn't there, it wouldn't be a livable bus. It wouldn't be a daily driver. It wouldn't have solar power. It wouldn't have the ability to cook food and boil my water, give me central heat, air conditioner, everything that I need to live, like my basic needs, I now have covered in that bus. And I wouldn't have been able to make that progress if it wasn't stuck in Colorado and we didn't, go through all these extra challenges.
Yeah.
So sustainability now comes from crowdfunding, from people who are donating, and from this awesome deal that I made with Century Martial Arts. So the brand Sack Life is also a discount code at Century Martial Arts. So if anyone needs anything, any gear, home heavy bag, if you want to start a home heavy bag journey, you can get it from Century Martial Arts, get 10% off with discount code Sack Life, and then that puts a commission back into my belly or my bus's gas tank, or the repair bills that are going to come from the next challenges.
So cool.
I can't, this isn't at a point where I can live off of it. It's just a drop in the bucket. But between the crowd support, the support of people from me locally showing up in their community, and the mutually beneficial deal that I've created with Century, I'm surviving.
There you go.
I'm surviving, man.
There you go.
It's mind blowing.
Now,
That's like a common term kind of in martial arts, is like just survive for the present moment, right? Isn't that, I think in jiu-jitsu they say just survive.
Just survive as long as you can.
Yeah. So you're kind of at that state.
Yeah.
Now you
100%. Yeah.
And you have gear, like you have shirts and stickers and stuff, merch.
Yes, I do have a gear line, not a gear line, but I have a merch line through Teespring. If anyone would like to check it out, you could check out sacklifeofficial.com, all one word. And there's a shop on there. There's also a ton of free resources on there. But my merch line goes through Teespring, so it doesn't really benefit me much. It's like another little drop in the bucket here and there. The main purpose of having the merch line is just to raise awareness to the cause.
Yeah.
So if anyone listening would like to help raise awareness to free martial arts for mental health care, they could pick up an item on the shop, and then that helps. Again, it helps raise awareness, but it also adds a little bit of sustainability, and 10% of anything that's purchased through Teespring immediately goes to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So we're funding better mental health for all on a national level whenever someone purchases a product from our merch shop.
Dang. So you're not like, that's not even a cash grab for you. You're donating that money.
No,
Holy cow.
So like Teespring's getting the lump sum, the majority of the funds, and then they allow you to set a price above what their minimum line is.
Okay.
Let's say a t-shirt is $18, their minimum price. If I make that t-shirt $20, I would, ideally, in an ideal situation, I would make the difference between the $18 and $20. But I'm taking that difference and I'm donating 10% of that profit to NAMI. And then 30% of what's left is going to go to taxes because I'm an independent income earner. So there's really like 60% of the $2 is what I'm going to make on a t-shirt. Just to give you perspective on, it's not, it's not about money. None of this is about money. If it was, I would still be working my old job or running one of those old businesses. This is not a business at all. This is what saved my life. This is my responsibility to share it. And it leaves me with such a sense of fulfillment that no one needs to pay me to do it, and no one could pay me to stop doing it. I think it's very important for people to understand. People have come along on this journey and offered me large sums of money to do something different because they think that it would be, in their mind, like, this is how we can all make money. It's not about money. It's not, I'm not going to compromise my values, my integrity, my purpose out here so that I can go to work and make money. That's not ever going to be the plan. This has been free for 1,255 days. It will continue to be free. for people who need it, because mental health care is a basic human right and we deserve it. And this is what I can do about it. I can't change the system in place, but we can build a new system together.
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening over the last almost 4 years. We're building new systems. And I got to tell you, like, the support system that we have in place is so solid. The people are such, like, reputable, like, good-hearted, honest-hearted individuals. It's been a refining process, and it's only getting better and better the longer that I stay moving forward.
This is so awesome. That is such an awesome story. Has there been people that have reached out that you were like, how on earth did you even know I exist?
Yes, yes. There's been people all over the country and even in other countries who have reached out and told me about the positive impact that this program has had on their lives. Whether it's that they're training with me on the virtual class or they're just inspired by the journey to start moving forward on things that they may have been putting off.
Yeah.
This has had like an overwhelmingly positive impact. There was a boxing coach in Uganda who reached out early on, like I want to say in the first year. He has a boxing gym called Gloves and Glory Boxing in Uganda.
In Uganda.
And he said, and he was like, oh man, I saw your content, I saw your virtual content, and he's like, it's so inspiring. You're inspiring me. I want to do more for my community. And he was like, we started a free kids program. We're training the kids for free in the local community now. And he's like, he showed me his business card. He's changed his business card to incorporate mental health, and talk about the mental health benefits of training. And his coaches from time to time send me messages and they're like, keep on going, man. You know, like, you're killing it. And they're like, whenever you make it to Uganda, you can live with us and we'll give you a tour of the village. And it's like, it's amazing to see that impact is going like where I never expected it to go.
Yeah.
That's like one of many, many examples. But one that really stands out in my mind is I was in New Jersey at the time doing the virtual class, and someone was in Oklahoma. And that person in Oklahoma, I think, will be cool. I'm not going to share names because I want to respect healthy boundaries and everything.
No problem.
But that person, Oklahoma, was dealing with suicidal ideation, and they were at a point where they literally had a gun in their hand and a phone in the other hand, and they were sitting on the edge of the bed, like about to end their life. And somehow my program popped up on their phone as they were scrolling. And I met this person later, and they said that it literally was just the push that they needed to start showing up for themselves and start training. So this person took the virtual class for 36 days, and at day 38, he sent me a message and he said that his suicidal ideation had stopped. Damn. 38 days after sitting on the edge of his bed, like ready to end it, it had stopped. And he continued training for another 160 plus days. And I didn't really hear much from him after that because he found what he needed. He bought a heavy bag, he bought gloves, he had his tool set, and now whenever he starts dealing with stuff, he knows how to put it in a healthy direction that's going to build him up. So he hasn't had to worry about the suicidal ideation has not come back. But because now he's empowered with the tools, the same tools that saved my life are saving his life today. And I met him, and when I met him, it was like meeting a long-lost brother. It was like meeting family I didn't know I had. So he gave me a place to stay, and it was like, just stay here as long as you want, eat the food in the fridge, shower here. He said, you don't even have to talk to me. You didn't even have to adjust your day in any way. Just, I want you to have a comfortable place on this journey. So stay as long as you'd like, and, my house is your house. And he said, you saved my life. And I said, I didn't save your life. You saved your life. All I did was share the tools that helped me move forward.
Yeah.
I can't make you get up and hit that bag. I can't move your arms, You're the one who put in that work. You're the one who got up and tore through that bag in 100 plus days. He blew the bottom of the thing out. He punched through 16-ounce gloves and blew that 100-pound bag out.
Dang.
So he got work done.
Yeah.
And I can't do that for anybody. I'm not out here trying to sacrifice or trying to save people. And I think people need to understand that. I'm not here to be a prophet or a Jesus Christ figure. I'm not here to sacrifice myself. I'm here to share my self-care. I'm here to share the tools that save my life. And if other people can also save their lives, great. And if they don't, I'm still okay because I'm doing my self-care.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you're
it's got to be for us. It's for us.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's not for them. It's for us.
Well,
mutually beneficial or not at all.
That's amazing. You're kind of like a signpost. Like,
right.
Hey, this right over here could work for you. Check this out.
Yeah.
See if this works. If it does, great. If not, there's a lot of other options there for you.
Yes.
That's
the thing. Like, all I have to do is be public with my self-care, and it has this impact. And other people are able to be public with their self-care and create a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing and spreading. More and more people benefit from it.
Well,
and there are hundreds of ways that you can help yourself. And if I never tried this, I would never have known what it was going to do for my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Almost nobody could have told me, hey, punch a bag and you'll be all right. No one could say that to me when I was dealing with clinical depression.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here, man. You're crazy. But once I felt it, and I felt it on the first punch, and that's why it's so important for me to bring this physical experience to people so that they can experience the first punch. And you'll know. Like, I've seen people have that light bulb moment. It's the most fulfilling part of my life, to watch people have that light bulb moment where they find relief for the first time and they didn't realize that this tool could work for them. And now they're going to add it into their lives, and their whole life is going to be better because they took this step and they showed up,
Yeah. How cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool journey right there. And my question is to you to listening to all this. There's a massive story here, with everything that you've gone through and the people you've met. Have you considered down the road? Are you gonna, keep up with going with the social media stuff and your program? Do you have plans for like a book or like a movie script or anything like that? Has anyone talked with you about that?
So people have pitched to me things like that along the journey, and I'm open to a movie, a book, or things like that. But I know who I am as a person. I hate writing. I hate it. It's not my outlet. I don't journal. Journaling works for a lot of people. I don't journal. I just don't like the process of writing. So I would rather have someone write it, like an editor or a publisher write it, and I can sit down and do interviews like this. I can share the story. I can share the journey, and it can be a book or a movie or whatever helps get the word out. But my focus is not on that. My focus is not on media or anything like that. My focus is on showing up for communities across America and making this positive impact in the physical world, in physical locations. And I will allow social media and other media to reflect the impact that is happening in the real world. Because if I get distracted or caught up in the social media game, in the numbers, in pleasing the algorithm, in being PC and appealing to these different audiences, then it's going to take away from the mission. And the mission is the most important thing. The outcome is the most important thing. And I can do that, have that outcome right now without going through all the steps to be successful as a social media figure, as a media figure.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm focused on the outcome, not the income. I know the income will follow with time. All I have to do is be here, continue to show up.
Put the time in.
And I've seen it. And people have saved my life. They're saving my life now. That's the craziest part about this journey. I was lost. I went through clinical depression, suicidal ideation. I found the heavy bag. The heavy bag allowed me to save my life. I shared it with others. It allowed them to save their lives. Then I ran out of money. And now those people are saving my life. It's great. So it's like the last 8 months has been practically 100% crowdfunded, and they have gotten the bus from Oklahoma to Texas to New Mexico through Arizona to California, and they're going to get me back to the East Coast too, and I have no doubt about it. And I don't need to worry about, there isn't enough money for me to get back to the East Coast, but I know that there will be when I need it. You know?
Yeah.
It's a bizarre way to live. It's a bizarre thing to see that this has become so mutually beneficial, and it's just come back to me tenfold. And just as another note, I have to mention that I have a better relationship with my family now than I've ever had in my entire life. A better relationship with my mom and dad, who initially, they were part of this extreme religion. There's sort of still part of it, but because of what I'm doing, because I'm showing up for the community and showing up for others, it kind of cuts through the program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can see I'm not the thing that that box tries to condition people to believe is that when someone leaves it, that they don't care about their family, that they don't care about God, they don't care about other people, they only care about themselves. So the work that I'm doing now directly contradicts that theory. It's almost impossible for you to tell me I don't care about anybody else.
For sure.
It's ridiculous.
For sure. You got a huge heart, man.
Yeah, because it's all free, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm not out here trying to charge people or swindle people. Everything is free. It's freely available. I just want to do good for the world around me. To me, this is my afterlife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I already lived a very full and complete life. I had a happy marriage. I had a family. I hit all these goals. I had multiple businesses. I was doing great. Had all that stuff. Where did it get me? Clinical depression. So after going through that, I'm like, what's left? This is my afterlife, man.
Yeah.
Why not do as much as I can for my community, create as much positive impact as I can? Because at the end of the day, when I die, I'm not taking anything with me, right? I can't take anything with me when I die. So why not build something that can stay here and benefit people long after I'm gone? That's the best thing I can do at this time.
Absolutely.
You know, contribute to man, you know?
Yeah. What a positive thing. That's just amazing. Thank you so much. Hey, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know you got to do a live video here pretty soon. And we're almost at the 45-minute mark, and that's kind of the sweet spot for us. So what I'd love to have you do is just one other question, and then I'd kind of like to have you, just let everyone know where to reach you and how to support you, because I want to support you in doing this as much as we possibly can.
Yes.
This was a total fluke. I just clicked on your stuff and was like, you are the man. So the question I had was, is Instagram the only way to reach you, or are you on other social media as well?
So I am on other social medias. Instagram is the best way to reach me.
I think that's the most positive. Sorry.
Yeah, it's where I do my live class every day.
Okay.
So I'm talking to my students. I'm also talking to other martial artists. I'm networking through Instagram mainly.
Okay.
But people can reach me at saclifeofficial.com anytime. There's a chat box in the bottom right-hand corner of the website that goes directly to my email. So anywhere you are, any place in the world, if you want to know when the Beat Depression bus is in your area offering free training, check me out either on Instagram or on saclifeofficial.com. I'm also on TikTok, but I'm not communicating there. I'm just kind of sharing what I can.
Gotcha.
Managing multiple social media platforms. Each one is its own full-time job. And like I said, I'm focused on being here for the people and the physical world outcome. So I just, as one man, I can't manage. I can only do so much.
Yeah. Is there anything that people could help you with now that you need? Like, you're not stranded anywhere, I don't think. Do you? I'm
not. I always appreciate donations. If someone wants to donate and they're in a position where they feel comfortable doing that, you can donate if you want to support this cause. But the most important thing that I would like from people, my greatest will, is that they'll follow the social media account on Instagram at SacLifeOfficial. It's going to come through numbers. Provide free mental health care for everyone in the world. Like, just hit the button, man. That's all I'm asking. I don't want money. It's not supposed to even run on donation. This is like in the meantime, before we have the commercial funding, it has to, the people are keeping me alive. But
yeah,
as far as needs, like I said before, I'm fed. I have oatmeal. I have all my basic needs covered, so I'll be all right for a while. And I'm sure that what I need will be there when I need it.
Right on, dude. Right on. Hey, thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you. Yes.
Dude, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This worked out just the way I wanted it to, but it was a little scary. I'm not a very outgoing person. I like to teach. I like to do martial arts, but I was like, oh crap, when I was messaging you, I don't know how this is gonna work, and I've been going on faith a lot lately. So thank you for renewing that faith in people, and yeah, dude, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim, and we'll definitely try to have you on again.
Yeah, I'd love to do this again.
Yeah,
anytime you want to like reach out and say, hey, I'm in Timbuktu or whatever, do it, because we'd love to have you on again.
Right on, man. And I also want to let you guys both know that you're always welcome to train on the bus whenever it's in your area. If you guys decide to take a vacation to the East Coast and I'm over there, just hit me up. You're always welcome on the bus. And if you'd like to share any of your martial arts and mental health journey, I'm also happy to do interviews with you guys as well. So that way we can just help each other with this.
I'd love to. Absolutely. Love to. This, awesome. I believe martial arts saved my life in a way that I can't quantify just how much it has. When I got back into training, long story short, I was about 30 or 40 pounds overweight, very depressed. I had everything that I thought I needed to not be that way. Yet life was really grinding me down. I have a beautiful wife. I have 3 kids, and they are the fuel that keeps me going. But I had them and still was lacking something. And martial arts gave that back to me. And oh, dude, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I could sit here and talk your ear off all day on this. The long story short, yeah, I lost the weight. I began to see the glass as half full and not half empty. It made me a thinker. It made me think about things. It helped me solve problems. It made me work through problems instead of just avoiding them. And oh, dude, I can go on and on. we don't have the time to how far I could go with this, but I definitely want to do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again, and kind of like maybe check in with you in a couple months.
Right on. All the points that you were making, and I'm really glad that you found martial arts and it's impacted your life as well. It's a beautiful thing. So appreciate you guys.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll keep an eye on you, and we'll talk again.
Right on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.